Yeah, I think it's 2 p.m. It's time to start. Are we ready?
Yes.
Lydia, are we ready?
Yes, we're ready. Okay. My name is Angel Liddy.
Go ahead. It's already live on YouTube, so go ahead, please. Angel, I think Angel, you are muted. Angel, you are muted, please. Unmute yourself. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Welcome to Olumba Television. Welcome to Olumba Television, presenting Nigeria's perspective on global affairs. I am Angel Liddy, and today we're looking at the NSAS protest that has been on for well over 2 weeks, and you all know that Nigerian youths took to the streets to say we need good governance, we need a stop to certain things that are not working, to the brutality from the police force, and it's been peaceful so far until recently the protesters received attacks from different states against them. And of course, it did get to a point where different state governors did come up with a 24 hours curfew in those states. However, it took a different turn yesterday when the protesters were still on ground at the Lekki toll gate. Yesterday, when the governor of the state, Governor Jide Sanwo-Olu, declared curfew and the protesters did not leave the streets. They were still there. However, it grew to that point when they were faced with live bullets, and a lot of people were gunned down yesterday. And today we're looking at the results. And what do you think as an individual, as a Nigerian, so far? What are you thinking? What's your thought? I see a lot of some people joining us, and we have some people here. We have Ambrose Obima. Ambrose, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you. Hello?
Just in case Ambrose is still having difficulty. Okay. Hello. Oh.
Yeah, actually, Angel, I think it is you that's having difficulty with your network.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind,
issues, I see.
I think, okay, Angel, you're having difficulty with your network. If you can sort it out in a minute, let's listen to Ambrose to tell us what he thinks about the NSAS protest and what's your take so far, Ambrose?
I'm quite encouraged with what has been happening in Nigeria. Encouraged that the youths are out to actually say that enough is enough. So it's one of those things you never knew that it will happen in Nigeria. So I'm quite encouraged, and I think that the essence of democracy is for people to have a say. And when people are out demanding to be listened to, that is a testament to people wanting a democracy. Now, the government reaction has not been encouraging, and it's been a disappointment how the government have reacted. Nonetheless, we all want democracy. I believe we should be in the streets if we can. to make our voice be heard. So I'm quite encouraged with what the young people are doing right now in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you so much. And let's hear from Daniel Santong. Daniel, are you there? Please unmute yourself if you can hear us and tell us what you think of the protest, the NSAS protest, and the Lekki massacre now. Okay, let's look at Drew Povey. Drew, are you there?
Hello.
Vivian.
Hello.
Oh, all right. Yes, Daniel, go ahead. Daniel Santong, we can hear you.
Okay, I am in Kaduna, not but I follow everything. We saw what happened yesterday. I think something that is bad in a democratic setting. This thing is not allowed. I think it's not acceptable, and for unarmed you.
Daniel, are you still there?
To be shot. Who are these people? Thank you.
I want to know if this.
Hello. Hello?
Really disturbing, or it's not hear anything from his end. Mr. Amber.
Yep.
Right, obviously it's from my end.
No, I don't think it's from your end. I think a lot of people are actually having problems with their network this afternoon. And so has Ambrose finished speaking? I think what we'll do is anyone who needs to say anything, raise up your hand through the device indicator, and then you will be called to tell us what you think about the NSAS protest and the violence that took place at the Lekki toll gate yesterday, and what do you think will be the solution? So that is what the discussion is about. Ambrose has made a very brief presentation. I don't know whether Ambrose still have something to say.
Okay. Yeah. If other guys are having problem with their network, I can continue. I wanted to
give others. So you can continue. When their network is fine, then we'll call them back.
Yeah. So looking at the videos we've been seeing from what happened in Lekki, it does seem, and then the government reaction so far. So far, the governor have claimed know what was going on. The army have denied authorizing that, but it doesn't seem to, there seem not to be the true situation of things. So it's just an aberration that you are killed because you are saying that you don't like what's going on. And then you keep wondering what the government plan is. If you are shooting at peaceful protesters, do you have other ways of listening to your citizens? So personally, I do feel that the government have lost the moral authority to continue. I do feel that, though obviously I'm not in Nigeria, so that I will refrain from saying people should be on the street, but I do think that people should not back down, that we should keep protesting until our demand is met. And the demand is simple. The demand is reform the police so that SARS will stop killing the young people. Every one of us, rich or poor, does have experience with SARS. I personally have lots of experience that when you hear the stories, you feel that you are lucky to have encountered SARS and still have your life. So So I'm quite actually energized by the spirit of the young people on the street demanding that they need a change. And that's quite simple.
Ambrose, what I want to ask is this. Yesterday, we saw what happened at Lekki. And now it appears the army is denying that they actually shot anyone. This morning, we listened to the governor of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu, said that no lives were lost. But let me play this video a little bit. Let us see whether that claim can actually hold any water. When do you say that the army didn't kill anyone? So I would like to play this video now. Let us see again what the eyewitnesses said actually happened. So let us see. Okay, this is just one of the videos we have. There are some which I may not be able to. Sorry, let me. Okay, I think let me stop this now. Okay, there are some other videos we saw last night that people are sharing on Twitter, which shows the army advancing towards them at Antolga. Let me show another one again, because there are so many videos we are having, but the problem is, how do we establish that someone actually died? There were some videos we saw last night where we saw people with gunwoods being carried away. We saw an ambulance driver saying they stopped us from going there. Let me play this video again, and let me also, then after that, we now take your take, or any member of the any of our listeners here who feels who has something to say about what really happened last night. Let me share this one again, if you don't mind. Okay, where is it? Twitter, this one. Okay, here it is. Okay, there is another one I cannot share here because it's so gory. And that one is actually where people showed videos, people with gunshot wounds. So what do you think? Anybody in the audience can tell us what do you think? Or are you there? Or do you think you have another video to show us? Do you actually believe that people actually died at Lekki yesterday? Or do we believe the governor of Lagos State who was saying that nobody actually died? Anybody can now, if you can unmute yourself, or Ambrose, you can give your opinion, or any other person can unmute himself and tell us what you actually thought happened at Lekki yesterday.
So I don't believe the governor. I've seen enough of the images of what happened in Lekki not to believe either the governor or the army. So leading up to the event, you can see images of the cameras being taken away, the cameras at the target being taken away. You can also see that the lights, the floodlights around the target were all turned off. So there was a planning that preceded the shooting. And so if the army is saying they didn't make the shooting, so the hoodlums wouldn't have done the planning to make the shooting, right? And then we've seen enough images around what happened in toll gates to not believe what the governor said.
All right, thank you. Any other person has anything to? Okay, Lomadi Kife, please.
Yes. I have something to say on point of direction. I don't really
Okay.
have any facts to submit at the moment, but I think that this will be too serious a discussion to be guided by people's beliefs. If we want to get somewhere in this discussion, let those who have a fact submit it. Because I believe that at this stage, we were talking of fact finding. There is a claim on ground that nobody died. The counter claim to that should be that somebody died. And then one, showing the picture of the person who died, possibly the cause free in any institutional that handles morgues, or identify the person up to the point of his parent or point of residence. That's what we should be dealing with, so that we don't allow the discussion fly off the handle.
Okay, thank you so much, Daniel. I wouldn't know if this is Daniel. Am I the one now who's having network issues because I am unable to get NFN?
I'm hearing you.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you now.
Hello, I'm not seeing.
Okay, unfortunately, we are no longer hearing you.
Wow. Our signal today is awesome. So wonderful. Okay, just before that submission, I was going to ask Mr. Ambrose, like, because of the massacre of yesterday and the reactions of people, some are saying the protesters should go off the streets, and some are saying if the protesters go off the streets, the battle will be over. What do you think? Do you think they should go off the street entirely, or they should retreat to come back later?
So personally, if I'm in Lagos, if I'm in Lekki area, I wouldn't go off the streets. So provided, obviously, I'm making sure I'm not violent. So what's the protest about? The protest is fundamentally asking for things to change, right? So if I'm unable to do that in a democratic setting, then what's the point of democracy? So it's people's fundamental right to protest. You don't have democracy without protest, actually. So I do think it's a misconception of what we are trying to do, pleading on the people to stop complaining, right? So protest is just a louder form of you showing your displeasure. And these guys have actually conducted themselves well in the manner that you should listen to them. So why ask people to go to stop complaining if you haven't solved their problem? I would rather focus on asking the government to act fast to address the issues of the protest. So if you address the issue, the protest goes away. So that should be where we tend to spend a lot of time asking the people to stop complaining instead of solving the cause of the complaint. So there's a good cause complaint. We should focus on what demands are instead of about how long we are protesting. There's a
Thank you so much, Mr. Ambrose. Miss, you're mute. Hello.
Now, even technology are the way. You see, even technology are the way. Just from here to here, the network difference is too much.
Hello, Chief Okello Madikifa. Are you with us, or are you speaking with someone else? Okay, I think Okello is off again now. So Angel, you can go on.
All right. So I was going to call on Vivian. I saw Vivian with us. Vivian, can you unmute yourself and tell us what you think of the EndSARS protest and the Lekki massacre last night? Vivian, are you with us? All right, Vivian might not be here right now. I don't know if she's getting me. Yaki, Mr. Yaki, are you there? Okay, we've got a message here from Festus Ifeanyi Anagu. He says, the government knows what to do to solve Nigeria's problem, but will not want to do so. Let them restructure Nigeria, period. Thank you so much, Mr. Ifeanyi Festus Anagu, for that contribution. Mr. Abu is also here with us, and today we're looking at the NSAS protest and the Lekki massacre last night. At this point, what are we to believe? And we also have reports on the governor of Lagos State saying there were no deaths. And we're thinking, what's going on? And we have a lot of videos, a lot of messages in circulation showing people being shot at different locations, not just Lagos. And yet we're getting reports that there were no deaths. What's your take? What are you thinking is going on? If Mr. Yaki, if you can hear us, unmute yourself and give us your contribution or your submission. Oh no. What's a signal today? Jude Eze, you're welcome. So Jude Eze just joined us, and it will be nice for me to give him what we're talking about. Jude Eze, welcome, and we've been looking at the NSAS protests and the Lekki massacre. What do you think is going on, and what's your take so far on the protest and the massacre that's taken place yesterday? Mr. Jude Eze, are you there? We also see Stephen Haruna is also here with us. Welcome, Mr. Stephen. And Mr. Abu as well. You're welcome. Okay, Jude, if you can hear me, please unmute yourself and give us your take. Oh, Mr. Jude, you're so not clear. And he's off.
Hello, can you
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. It's I have written a poem this morning, and I have sent it an elegy to express the deep-seated regret on this particular incident of yesterday. Several times we have been on your platform on social media and on your blog to express how sad we are as a people and writers. So it's really a bad. One of these Okoye said that this government has messed with the wrong generation, and they really did. They really messed with the wrong generation. And if we ever have a president, this is the correct time for him to redeem his image. If we truly have responsible government from the Senate, the legislatures, the executive, and the judiciary, it's time for them all to come out and assuage the youth. They have to come out and pacify the situation. Everywhere is tensed. We have reports of so many wanton destruction of properties in Lagos. And we know how busy Lagos is. Anything that happens to Lagos happens to Nigeria economy. Now we hit on these guys have started resulting on reprisal attack. None of us slept yesterday in our separate places of
residents. We have been following what is going on, and it's very unfortunate. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, sir. It's a rare, we are very grateful for the platform and for the opportunity you have given us. You have actually tried, Lombard TV have done a lot in helping our voices be heard through this platform. We are really grateful. And we also pray the people we are talking about, those in corridors of power, listens to us. It's a great period in our history. And we must take good advantage of that if we are to be reckoned with in the Committee of Nations among those who are advancing country. Now, as it stands, we are neither advancing nor advanced. We are just statically underdeveloped nation where that kind of jungle justice can take place. What happened in Lekki yesterday? Hello? Hello?
Speak. Let me go down. Yeah, I think the network is, we are hearing you. I think the network today is not the best. Angela, are you there?
All right, I understand. I can see it from my own end too that where I wasn't, it wasn't that clear.
Lydia, are you there?
Yes, I'm right here.
Go on then.
Going off
All
and
right.
on. Okay, Mr.
Yeah, the network
Jude.
is not the best. Yes. I'm with you.
Hello.
Hello, I'm with you. I can hear you
Yeah.
loud and clear.
So not friendly at all. But what can we do? It was hit off by the network at the point when you were making your submission. So I really didn't get much of what you said. Okay, so but it's okay. Thank you so much for your submission as well. And we're still today on Elumba Television looking at the NSAS protest and the Lekki Tollgate massacre. What's your take? What do you think is going on? What's your contribution? You can also tell us what you feel. I have some others here.
So, but if I want to talk now,
Okay, Mr. Aloysius.
Unmute yourself.
okay.
So you're on now.
I
Mr.
am on now.
Aloysius. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Very good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
I'm happy to join this program and interview. What happened at Lake yesterday was beyond human comprehension. I got home around 7 to 8 o'clock. I met my wife, my 6 children, all of them crying and weeping because it was happening live, and all of them except my little one, who is 5 years old, was without her mobile telephone. I was taken aback. I said, Nkem, what is happening? She said, look at how people are killed. I am disappointed that the Lagos State governor is still insisting that there was no casualty. It happened live. And in one of the instances, the armies were dragging the dead bodies, just the way SARS kills and bury without anybody questioning them. That is exactly what happened last night. I've just read the governor's state broadcast, where he is saying that he feels they are his brothers. He is a father. Sanwo is a puppet. He's a puppet governor who cannot make a decision. He orchestrated the invitation of the military. And as long as this matter is concerned, Sanwo, or whatever he calls his name, should be the one, the first person to be indicted into ICC. I have this morning made a statement which has gone viral. I've asked the youth to continue the fundamental human right, the right to protest, the right to live a good life, and no power should suppress them. Nigeria has gone from, I was listening to one of the speakers where he said we are underdeveloped. Underdevelopment is understatement. We are just nothing. Nigeria as a nation is just existing. They are not living. On that note, I don't think what happened last night should go unpunished. I am preparing a document. They must be brought before the International Criminal Court. Both the commanders under whose administration this incident happened. The army cannot leave the barracks without a senior ranking person giving order. That senior ranking person would not have given an order without authorization from the head. Somebody has to take responsibility. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ambers, for your submission as well. We appreciate you. And today, for those who are just joining us, we're looking at the NSAS protest and the Lekki massacre last night. What's your take? What are you saying? The youth's supposed to go back now. Today, too, I was still talking to people out there. And they were saying, they were of the opinion that the protest should be taken to the government houses, to government parastatals, and it should not be on the streets. And for you, what do you think? Should it still be on the street or no? Let's move forward to the government houses.
Is that for me?
Yes, sir. Yes, Ms. Ambers, that's for you, please.
Anyone else who has something to say?
All right.
Who wants to answer the question?
Okay.
People, Suji, please, if you can go on. If you can please unmute
Mr.
yourself.
Aloysius, please unmute yourself. All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Right. This protest should not be on the street alone. The protest should be taken to government houses. The protest should be extended to all the ministers' offices and houses. The protest should be taken to all Federal House of Representatives houses. It shouldn't end on the street. There are the people. Tell me a country with 400 members in the House, their annual budget is more than that of a state. one single individual will go home with over 15 million a month. They are the people causing this problem. We have to tell them, after the end of SARS, the Inspector General, the service chiefs must be reformed. The service chiefs must resign. And that is the starting point. Then we have to look at the salaries. Then what happened? We spent a lot of money in the national conference. A decision was arrived at the national conference. What happened to that? We have to revisit it. The implementation of the consensus reached at the national conference must start now. This is the time. This is the time. What we could not get now, we cannot get it again. Nigeria has been pushed to the wall that we are now reacting. Enough is enough. We should be the richest country in the world, one of the richest countries in the world. We have the mineral resources. Everything that makes a nation great, Nigeria has it as a nation. But look at the population of Nigeria. It's not even enough. Look at the distribution of the assets. It's not even getting to the masses. The few people are continuously being privileged. This is the time to stop it, and it must stop. The time comes, there is a time in somebody's life you have to say, enough is enough. Nigerians have seen enough. Let the protest continue, not on the street, very peaceful, but let the government be affected. Let them feel the impact. This is a vicious magma. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aloysius. And who's thinking with the Lekki massacre yesterday night? I don't know if the youth would want to continue the protest, because some might be afraid of coming out as they're not sure of going back home to meet their families. And I'm thinking, what's your say? Mr. Ambrose, are you there? Mr. Aloysius, if you still want to, it's okay.
So yeah, I do agree with Chief Suji that the protest should continue, but I will differ that the protest should not go to people's houses. It should be on the public space. So I will support people protesting in public, not going to the official's house. So the battleground will be the public arena, not on the people's properties. Whether people should be afraid to come out, I think the government, by being violent, have violated their oath, and I don't think we should be afraid of the government anymore, because the oath, when you open fire on your citizens, you actually lost the moral right to continue to govern. And the people who are protesting should recognize this and continue. So if the government is afraid of you carrying placards, it means they recognize the power you have, and you shouldn't back down. Because this is the first time in my lifetime when the ordinary people are making the government to sweat. And if you've come this far, so why back down?
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Okello Madukife. Are you there? What's it? Okay, I see Dr. Sota's hand is raised. Dr. Sota, please unmute yourself and give us your submission.
Yes, hi. What we have been running in the country, and by the way, I'm one of those who wrote the national anthem for the country. And what we've been running in this country is not a democracy, but it's a kleptocracy. It's a government of thieves, for thieves, and by thieves. And the people have been silent for a long time, and they have observed. They have seen in National Assembly when members appropriate to themselves 1 million naira a day, whereas 70% of the population lives on less than 350 naira a day. And they've seen a country where even the police college is like a pigsty. They've seen a country where the hospitals are in a terrible, dilapidated, and decrepit condition. They've seen a country where the ruling classes run to London, US, India, Dubai for their medical treatment, or leave the people to suffer in unkept facilities. They've seen a country that can't even fight Boko Haram after 13 years. They've seen an army where weapons are not provided for the soldiers because the generals have stolen the funds. Or they see the country where the benefits for soldiers are stolen because the generals have stolen the funds. They've seen a country where widows of soldiers who died on the battlefront are denied their benefit because somebody has stolen the money. They've seen a country where the palliatives for COVID are not accounted for 12 billion, and the moment they are requested to be accounted for, the buildings are set on fire. So they've been seeing this for all this time, and then they end up with this SARS, and the end SARS is not a question of just the behavior of the SARS officers on the ground. The behavior is a symbol of the corruption, the rot that goes all the way from those officers all the way up the chain of command to the Inspector General of Police, because all the monies being collected are being passed up along the chain of command. So the end SARS is a symbol of end corruption, and the people have just had enough. And you have an army, or rather you have a police that has no tear gas because the money has been stolen. They have no firefight. You have fire services that have no water because the money for the services has been stolen. So, and when the people look at everything in totality, they begin to see a republic on the precipice, and they begin to see that the emperor really has no clothes, because when the soldiers have finished the little bullets they have, because the funds for bullets have also been stolen, then we're going to see what's going to happen next. So this is just the beginning. This is just the very beginning, and the battle will be on the streets, and it will be taken to them where they are, because they have put their boots on the necks of Nigerians all these years, leaving the population unable to breathe. And now the anger, the resentment will be hard to contain. So it's a warning for the ruling class that, and whenever you kill these people on the street, you kill our people on the street, there's going to be a payback for you personally. It's unfortunate, but that's the pattern that is coming up right now. They burnt the governor of Lagos State's mother's house. They're burning down Oriental Hotel, burning down TVC radio station. So this is just a symbol of the resentment and a symbol of people who have been pushed to the wall. And so we're going to see how the government is going to respond, but the government's capacity to respond is very limited. And once the people sense that, it's going to be even worse. So it's something we have to watch very carefully. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll quickly like to ask, you did mention that the government's capacity to respond is, the government doesn't have the capacity. What does that mean?
Well, we've seen their capacity.
If you will excuse me a minute, Dr. Omogui will call you back. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. The video you are seeing now is basically people protesting at the house of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. At the moment, that's the information we are getting at Elamba Television. Crowds of people have gathered at the home at the bottling close of Bola Tinubu himself to protest against, well, it's in the name of the NSAS process that is still going on. I don't know what to make of the situation now. Nobody knows exactly where this is heading to, because what we learned initially was that after the burning of the Nigerian Ports Authority headquarters, the Lagos State Transportation Office, the VIO office, everything being burnt down, television stations. Ghana's television was initially off air. We thought it would stop at that, but now we are hearing that they have moved to Bola Tinubu's house in Lagos. Just for you to know what is happening in Nigeria at the moment, there is demonstration in front of Bola Tinubu's house now. So you can now continue with the discussion.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Dr. Sota. We apologize for that break. You can continue, please. You were talking about the capacity of the government to face what's in front of it.
Yes, and the capacity of the government. And again, I say the emperor has no clothes. We've seen the capacity of the government and their inability, their failure, their lack of ability or capacity to quell the Boko Haram riot, the Boko Haram insurgency over the last 13 years. And if you look at all facets of development in the country, capacity has been undermined by corruption. And this corruption has essentially removed the ability to deal with things. I mean, you have a fire service that has no water. You have police that have no tear gas, you know? So the only way they are responding is bullets. And how many bullets do they have? And the army is already stretched thin all over the country with all the various insurgencies, the Niger Delta, the Northeast, the Northwest. So you're seeing a republic on the precipice. And so that's why I'm saying, if you look at all indices, because of all the corruption, and Buhari said it before. He said, if we don't kill corruption, corruption is going to kill us, and his words are coming true.
Yes, the doctor is still speaking. We are hearing him. Are you not hearing him?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, Buhari said, if we don't kill corruption, corruption is going to kill us. And his words are coming true right now as we see live. So this is going to get worse before it gets better. Thank you.
Okay, we thank you very much, Dr. Mogui, for being with us this afternoon. Mr. Okelo Madikife, please, are you now able to finish your contribution?
Yeah, thank you very much for this second chance. Sorry, I need to apologize that I was battling with the network here, so that's what truncated it. I'll try not to drag the discussion back by just bringing forward what I was saying to catch up with the current things on board. First, I have two confessions to make. The first one is that I live outside Lagos in the time being. And so I was relying on a lot of persons who are in Lagos to adduce facts that we can take along. The second confession I need to make is that, following from the first, that the claim of the governor, who is an authority and who has the singular advantage of reviewing security reports, that nobody has died, has not been contradicted in this discussion in terms of facts. Now, what you usually would do with that is that you need to put forward a superior fact to be able to displace a fact so we can proceed on the basis of facts. Now, having established those two confessions that would serve as preliminary input, let me state that I am lost and perhaps I need help because this is one of the most successful demonstrations we ever had in the country while it lasted. And I choose my word very carefully. The demonstration started well, garnered its support. I am a supporter of the issues canvassed openly in the beginning. That is, ending SARS, which was the first condition. Second condition, prosecuting those who are culpable in the violation of civil rights of Nigerians in the context of SARS. Thirdly, improving the working conditions in the police force. In the final analysis, it numbered 5. And so to keep it short, government accepted all of them. And I think that if you look at it carefully, you'll find out that some of them, or maybe just one of them, is a short-term action for those who understand the workings of government. So if government has accepted that and immediately ended SARS, And then some other ones that will fit into medium and long term. The tactical thing to do would be to pull back and watch whether there will be faith in the implementation of what is going on. However, you realize that in a situation like this, and in every political situation, there are bystanders waiting to take advantage of the situation. And I think we cannot rule that out. I was marveled when somebody said we should take demonstrations to the houses of legislators and the rest of that. But I think it is a place we should caution ourselves and pull back from very quickly, because it's a road that leads nowhere. Secondly, and I must not lose sight of this, there is a part of leadership that is enshrined in courage. If you are working on a demonstration, it must have a structure so that if it gets to the point, because nothing ends on the street. I've heard suggestions about people carrying on, staying on the street, and for how long? It's not forever. It will get to the negotiating table. Somebody must lead the negotiation. Somebody must be articulating. Somebody would be in the other side of the table, such that when he puts his signature, you will know that the deal is done. And so if you don't find that, and then we are left to contend with whether somebody was called in or not, I cannot intervene on the side of giving orders or not giving orders. I can only intervene on the side of things that I can behold their facts now. So to summarize, it will be like planting a journey through mayonnaise for us to encourage youth to go on the street forever. And it will also be wrong for us to condone everything that the youth do without giving them direction. I think it should be condemned in very naked terms to set public facilities ablaze, because it does not bear to the issue at hand, and somebody should be seen condemning that. Now, having said that, I want to see cerebral leadership. We knew who Kunle Adekweju was. We knew Dele Udo. We knew everybody who was anybody in the past in terms of youth leadership. But if you cannot tell me who are the heroes that can be thrown up by this struggle, so that we can keep an eye for the future about people who will represent the arrowhead, then something has gone wrong. And so please, let us pull back this discussion to the point of view of facts and not sentiment. Everybody, because I understand people are here in different persuasions, everybody is free to pursue his own legitimate political pursuit without using the youth for side issues that do not concern them in any way. I've been told that the budget for feeding on the street is more than who the visible elements we're seeing can shoulder. So that is just my element of caution within the context of the facts available to us at the moment. Perhaps in future, one will be able to intervene some more. Thank you.
Well, we thank you very much. Okay, Lord, that's been a very, very lengthy presentation, and it is very, very, very much appreciated and received in good faith. I don't know whether we have further responses. We note that Canon Ikemi Bodike has joined the forum. I know that he will have something to say on the topic under discussion in due course when he's ready to make his presentation. Is there anybody who has given a talk who wants to? Yes, Jude, please. Jude Ogechukwu, can you unmute yourself? There's a Jude.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. There's something that has been on the public domain a while now. Since yesterday, we have been hearing this media, some kind of apathy from the media in terms of coverage. You now start hearing something like, who authorized the shooting? Who authorized the operation? Who gave the go-ahead? Please, you should stop pretending. This week for 2 weeks has shown us the only way to salvage Nigeria. We have only one man in Nigeria called Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. When something like this happens and the Commander-in-Chief have never released a statement disowning the situation, which means he called the shot. And let's just get it straight. The only hope Nigeria has presently to redeem its image, to get it right, at least in a democratic dispensation, is this thing the youths are doing. These guys have a security apparatchiks among themselves. Who search those who want to join, like me check everything within my body to know if I have any weapon could join them. In them, the only 3 people constitute themselves a panel, sanitation panel, pure water sachet, to ensure that we don't litter these things. They don't litter it. I was driving through Abuja the other day. I saw say they had their protest. What happened? This place looked like a protest venue that they live by 4 a.m. They made sure they ice the whole environment, pick all debris to ensure that they.
Well, I'm learning that Nigeria is having serious network issues today. Nobody seems to be sure of what is going on, especially in some areas. So we will be expecting people to be dropping in and dropping off as the program continues. Even our host is having issues dropping on and off as time goes on. I noticed that Chief Osuji wanted to respond to Okeloma Kife's presentation. So I don't know whether he's ready to make that presentation now. Chief Osuji, please. Do you still?
Yes.
You wanted to respond to Okelo's presentation. I noticed
yes.
that.
Yes. Indeed, I am here not to support the burning and looting of people's property or destruction of property. I want to refer the second last speaker, okay, that Nigerians, if the government want to negotiate, this government set up what we call National Youth Council of Nigeria. The National Youth Council of Nigeria has representatives within all the states, including the federal capital, Abuja. Now, if the government want to negotiate with these people, they should speak to the leaders. I can tell you, they must speak to the leaders. Now, let me tell you again, frustration brings bad habit. In a nation where the youths are without hope, there is no hospital for the youths. There is massive unemployment for the youths. Some of them, parents have sold their only piece of land to send them to university education. They come out 12, 13, 14 years, no job. Some of these youths cannot even afford to fend for their families. What do you expect? Yet you get a legislature who goes home with over 20 million in a month. You get their children driving big cars on the road. But when you see the son of a poor man who has toiled night and day to get a car, the SARS will stop him and ask him, who are you? Whose father are you? How many children of the so-called legislatures are stopped and searched on the road? It never happened. These things has to be checked. We are in a democratic country where everybody is equal. Your inequality is not dependent on anybody's privilege. I am not advocating for violence. I've never been a violent man. I ran for the governorship race in Imo State. I saw how the election concluded. You can see why politicians in Nigeria can kill to get a position. And why do they do that? Because of the financial benefit. Because the moment they get there, they don't look at the youths that fought for them. I am of the opinion the National Youth Council are there. They set it up. But because these people are not funded, they are just there by names. They are, do you know the amount of money? Go to police quarters. You see the police, every police house is like a shanty town. What happens to the police budget? Somebody has to take responsibility. And because we too much respect and say, sir, every situation, sir, That is why we remain where we are. Many countries have been protesting for the past 6 months. In Malaysia, they are still protesting. And government are speaking to them. Government are talking to them. Little by little, things must change. Until we create an environment where the so-called politicians will listen to the youths and provide the necessary amenities. If you go to some of the countries in Europe here, every unemployed person is paid. How many graduates in Nigeria are paid? Unemployed. Yet you want these people to respect you. It's not on, my dear. I mean, the oppression is too much. This is the time to stop it. We must continue to protest. Of course, in every protest, somebody was saying there were no fatalities. For you to carry arms before the people you are supposed to protect and start shooting at random, then that person is a madman. Nigerian military, the police, everything should be reformed. Reformed, they must acquire the necessary skills and education and human right training before giving them arms or live weapon. So I am not against destroying people's property. Why I suggested that these people should be visited, for them to see the anger in these boys, these youth faces. Let them see that time has come, they will no longer run away. Let the politicians see that, listen, what you have worked out for the past how many years is now taunting or running after you. Let them see, because they've gone into hiding. Somebody was telling me that Tinubu is not even in his house as we speak. But where is he? He should be in his house, and and come and address these youths. The decision to start killing people in Lekki is nothing to do with business interest, because they know how much they are losing there. Who is the person? Tinubu is losing the money. So we should address our mind. Nigeria is Nigeria for everybody. Nobody is born and given a name, a child that is bigger than the other or greater than the other. Equality stands now, and we must follow it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief Aloysius, for that wonderful one. Mr. Okello. Mr. Okello is still here?
Yeah. If I can also respond to, I would really like to add to what Prosecutor said. Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So in response to Okello, I think he's gone. So I would have. Oh, so he's still here. I think there's a misunderstanding of what this protest is all about. So he talked. He talked about the government ending SARS, that the people should pull back. That's a misunderstanding of what the protest is. So SARS is a name. SARS is just a department in the police force. So ending SARS, redeploying the people, doesn't end the operation of Nigerians. I haven't seen people take responsibility for what is going on. So I don't understand our hurry to press people to stop complaining about their situation. We should focus on the government. The government should respond by taking responsibility. Part of taking responsibility is the police command, right? So we haven't seen anybody resign from the police. We haven't seen anything done, and you're already asking people to go home. So that's one. Two is, just like Dr. Soto said, the government lacks the resource or the capacity to actually contain what's going on. So part of the capacity is trust. The people doesn't trust the government. So why are you promising me to do something when I know that if I go home, you just it will become business as usual. So the government lacks that, and you don't buy that with gun. You don't get that with gun. You build trust. So the people who are protesting have not seen any reason to go home. They are remaining violent. From every media report, they have not been involved in destroying properties. The government have been accused of destroying properties in order to create the situation we are in. So I don't understand we being contented with the situation. So somebody is our fundamental right to say, no, we don't like what's going on and we are peaceful. So why discourage such? Then if we are not, if a government is incapable of handling a peaceful protest, the government has no right to exist.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution and your submission as well.
We are
Appreciate that.
we are having a breaking news now. The governor of Lagos State has just tweeted that someone has lost his life as a result of the protest last night, who received a trauma in the head. But he is saying that this is an isolated case, that he sympathizes with his mourning, but that this is an isolated case, but that he is now confirming that someone has lost his life in Lagos State. So go ahead. Angela, are you there? All right, it appears that our host is having network problems. I realized that Zubix Martin raised his hand or unmuted himself some time ago. I don't know whether he has any contribution to make or whether any other person have a contribution to make. Please indicate by using the device to raise your hand, and then we will recognize you, or you can unmute yourself and then make a contribution. Lydia, are you there?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, go ahead then.
Okay. Really, this signal issue today is really making me miss out on some of the talks so far. But I can still come up here to say that today we are looking at the NSAS protest and the Lekki Tollgate massacre. Remember, this is Elumba Television. You can also follow us on Instagram at Elumba TV, like our Facebook page, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you will get notifications for every of our posts, every of our information as it drops. Okay, and today looking at the NSAS protest and the Lekki Tollgate massacre. We're coming out to say, what's your take? What do you think so far on the protest? Of course, information are dropping even right here as we are discussing. It's been said that one person just lost his life in some minutes ago. One of the protesters who was hospitalized from the attack yesterday, and the governor of Lagos State has come up to say one person is dead. Finally, somebody is dying from the attack. What's your take? How far? What do we do right now? Should the youth go off the streets? Should they continue the protest? Of course, as a result of the shooting yesterday, some people are not on the road, and some places are still observing the curfew that's been announced by different state governors or different state governments. What's your take? Should the youth back off at this point? What do you think should go on or should happen at this point? You can unmute yourself if you have a contribution to make. You can unmute yourself and tell us what you think should be done at this point. I'm thinking, am I still on?
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. The admission by the Lagos State Governor is indicative of the fact that many more souls died last night. I can tell you many more people died last night. And I don't think curfew will end the agitation. we say when you impose curfew, it's a suspension of what is yet to explode. When you impose curfew, you have put in every economic activity on hold. Let people protest. Let people show their right of legitimacy to protest, enshrined in the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, which also I am against because that is no constitution. It needs to be reformed. I can tell you Nigerian constitution is just a child's play for a nation like Nigeria. However, these youths should continue to protest. Peaceful, stay on the road. No, their demands are not met. Their demands are not met. Somebody was leading the SARS from Inspector General to AIG to Superintendent to commanders. Somebody was responsible for sending this SARS out. None of them, as one of my brothers who is on this topic has suggested, none of them has resigned. None of them has taken responsibility. None of them has issued a statement. None of them has come up to say, Nigeria, we are sorry. Now, what they did is go behind the scene, remove a black cat and put a white cat while maintaining the same skin. That is not on. Even this new name that is given to them now is more powerful than before. Because now with the rifle, they can shoot anything. They should be completely disbanded. Disband them, they should not be reabsorbed. And however, we should have one police command, not various criminal gangs within state police command. In this country, United Kingdom, we have one police, mobile police, criminal investigators, CIDs. You know, there is no reason why you said that this is a special squad for armed robbery. We have terrorists.
Okay.
You know. Okay. All right, I think I'm muted.
No, we can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes.
All right. So the idea of creating is an avenue for inefficiency, mismanagement, fraud. Do you know how much that is being released for police advancement in Nigeria? Has anybody investigated any Inspector General of Police sitting at any time why police headquarters are unkept? Why some of the police men, when you see them on the road, they look like nothing on earth, very tattered. Yet, they are supposed to be given their uniform free to dress very well. Nobody has raised that question. But somebody is eating that money. The same thing goes, they cannot investigate it because the way it is happening is in the police, is the way it is happening in the every force in Nigeria. The same way it is happening in the Federal House of Assembly, in the Senate, in the presidency, just to grab as much as you can and walk away. It has to stop. Everything must be restructured. Let us restructure Nigeria. Let us listen to the people. Now, the salary of a police officer is 60,000 a year. This is a man that stands on the road and go and fight terrorists and armed robbers. And the legislator that sits in the house and sleep is being paid 15 million a month. Look at the variation. It's not on. It's not going to happen. Everybody should come on the table now and speak. Let this matter end now for the future of Nigerians to come. You know what? That is what we call breadfruit tree. When it touches the head of a small child. When it gets big, it gets the big of a man or a woman and all. When it falls, it sinks the ground that manage it to grow. And we say in our place that breadfruit tree should be carefully watched. Nigerian government must be properly investigated so that they will represent us. We make politics less attractive so that anybody going there will go with the interest of the masses, not for the financial values. That's my contribution so far. And I'm happy that if they will talk, as I suggested before, national youth councils are there. Do we have youth leaders from local government to local government? From village to village?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been said that the negotiation for this protest will be difficult as the protesters have leaders. What do you think? How will the negotiation be done, or what's your suggestion?
I think
Okay.
are you having problem
I'm back.
with work?
Yes, I am. Terrible.
Yeah, I think you're having issues with your network. That's my observation from my end. And we will still be happy to have members in the meeting to give a comment or what they think the Nigeria authorities should do to find a solution to the ongoing crisis in Nigeria now. A lot of people are wondering what will be the if you are the president, for instance. Now this demonstration has gone on for some time now. What do you think President Buhari should do now to stop this ongoing demonstration? If you are to advise him, do we have any member of the audience because we know that they may be watching our program. What do you think the president should do immediately to put a stop to ongoing protests and ongoing demonstrations? Do you have a solution? What do you think the president should do? If you ask me, I don't know what, okay, Canon Ibodike, please. Can you unmute yourself? Sir Ikem Ibodike, please. Are you able to unmute yourself? Let me help you to unmute, okay? Yes, I have asked you to unmute. Can you unmute yourself now? Sir Ikem Ibodike. Yes,
am I on?
Yes. We can hear you now.
Am I on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. First and foremost, I
As usual, I want to appreciate Lumba.com for effort to gather like minds to ventilate on issues on our nation, on our land. Before I joined this afternoon, that is before I get to your question, I had access to one of the pictures of that have gone viral about the young people who were demonstrating about the situation in our land. The one that struck me most was a young lady who was just dancing. She was dancing to the tune of the music, not armed, not even a single paper in her hands. She was just dancing around. And then besides that picture where she was dancing, where she was laid down with her skull opened, shattered, and lifeless. And again, I also assessed a circulation purported to have been the last comment of one of the young men who died. And in that circulation, it was printed out to have the young man to have said that messages should be sent across to. Are you still hearing me?
Yes, we are hearing you. Go ahead, sir.
Messages should be sent across to his father and his mother that he joined the protest because he believed that was the right thing to do. That before he was gunned down, there was no arm. He was not armed with any weapon. He was not violent. He was trying to exercise what he felt was his right of showing discontent with the goings on in this nation. And then I listened to live broadcasts by the governor of Lagos just a while ago before I accessed this information. And I heard him say clearly that there was no fatality in this. Now, having said this, it brings me to the point where I begin to ask myself, why do people in government feel that they can handle this nation the way they do? Why would they feel that we are all daft? We don't have our minds and memories. Before they get into government, they become good. They are good people. They are people who will feel they could do better than those who are there before them. And then once they get into the government, they need to behave as if the mind they used to they had before they got into the government have been taken away. How can you be saying to Lagosians that there was no death in the attack yesterday, where in our eyes you saw the army men open fire, and I saw in channel recovered bullets, heavy bullets that could have not been used on human beings, recovered bullets from the site. The reporter in channel showed it live, and the governor had the boldness to say that there was no fatality. And I just quickly assessed where they laid down number of bodies of people who was gunned down in the attack yesterday. Then coming to my advice to the president, the whole blame stops on the deck of the president, on the desk of the president. He had not, for about 2 weeks, when Sajidon started, he had not opened his mouth to even say, to address, to even say and make a comment. He felt so much unconcerned. People were asking if president was there, if he was in Nigeria. Even before now, there were different people saying he was not in the nation or all that, until I also saw a picture that was circulated of his engagement with Jado Bayero, the emir of Kano, who visited yesterday. So you find that we're not sure the president is even touched by what is going on in the land. And that brings me again to what I just said a while ago. During the time of the past government, he was going about, I saw him for about 2 different occasions, weeping about the runnings of Nigeria. And we thought he was serious. We thought he had the mind of a human being. We thought we could trust him. We thought he's somebody who could rise up to address the injustice, the corruption, the wickedness that was in the land. But for about 5 years or more, he had been in government. We have seen the worst of leadership that anybody could imagine in the history of this nation. I don't have expectations from him. I don't have any expectation because, how do I put it? Some of us doubt if it was the same Buhari who we felt we could trust. The same Buhari who was crying openly about what he felt was injustice in the nation before he came to government. But my prayers is that this does not just end like this. Imposing the curfew was just a brute way of exercising power to suppress them and then suppress the agitation by all means and all that. That was why they introduced the curfew. Nothing stopped them to have dialogued with these people, with the youths. The facts about what they were agitating for are there, they are obvious. But the truth is that all they are trying to do is to use crude power to suppress the agitations. But I'm sure even if they succeed now, the facts about why they're agitating is still there. And Nigeria will not continue this way. I have the confidence that Nigeria will not continue this way. They'll get to the point where they found that they have gotten to the wall, and then they will rebound back, and the injustice they have put in place will go against them. We are not all fools, and I'm trusting God that it will get to the point where they will not be fairly judged by posterity. They will not be fairly judged by posterity. The wickedness they have vented out on Nigerians will definitely come against them. And I pray it comes against them in their lifetime. We are believing God for a good Nigeria. And in any case, even if I feel that they dismember this nation, yes, if they're not willing to restructure Nigeria, they dismember Nigeria. Let every nation in this, let every regional nation in this nation go and look for, take care of themselves, than having to force us together and then we are not willing. You'll be surprised that if you sound the opinion on average Northerner, they would feel so happy that they have used power to suppress the agitations of the people. So you will find that we don't have the same ideology, don't have the same mindset. We're not even like-minded. Why would we be forced into a nation together when our mindset, our opinion, our thinking, our belief system, our ideologies are different? And then we are forced into a nation, and then there is no pretense about it. So it's very sad, very, very sad. The president you're asking us to advise, does he have a mind of his own? Is this still the same Buhari we used to, we believed in before 2015? I don't have expectations. And I pray that good men, that if there are still any within the political class, will rise up to address every bit of these agitations. And only when they have done that will Nigeria of our dream come to place. If it's not, for me, it is either they dismember this nation and people will go home, go to their various regions and trying to take care of themselves, or the socialist nation, if we must continue together. And until they restructure Nigeria, until they come to the term, restructure Nigeria, we can't have a Nigeria of our dream. We can't have a Nigeria of our expectations, whether you like it or not. It's so sad, so sad. It's so sad. And I'm praying that God will help this nation. Thank you. That's my little contribution.
Before you leave, Ibodike, please. If I may ask, what do you see as the end game in this situation? How do you think this demonstration will play out? Are we going to see maybe the demonstration will stop and people will simply go back to their homes? Do you think the government will apply more force to disperse the protesters? Or what do you think will be the end game at the end of the day?
Unfortunately, my personal opinion, my expectations is very, very little. concerning the end game, what they have done or what they are doing was to use crude power to suppress the agitations. And of course, the number of people who were on the road yesterday have dropped drastically. I live in Lagos, and you will be hearing gunshots here and there. But all they are doing is that they are using crude force to suppress the agitation, and all they want to achieve was just intimidate them, use crude force to suppress them, and make sure they continue that way until there be no voice still crying out against them. And then we may unfortunately find ourselves having the status quo still remain. But I am praying that people who feel the way some of us feel will gather themselves together to take it off these young people. Because for them, all they wanted to do was just to use crude force to suppress them. But I am feeling that good men. In the university days, I remember one Obasigwe of Liberation Movement in Africa say that evil continue because good men fold their arms and do nothing. So I am praying and wishing that the good men in this nation who feel the way some of us feel will rise up, our opinion. If they want to engage us, people like us will not take the back seat. I pray that there will be good men in this nation who will cease to fold their arms, who will be willing to rise up and take it beyond the youths, so that even if they succeed in intimidating them out and with crude force suppressing them, men who they can also not silence will rise up and take it off from where these young people who have started this. That's my expectations. And I'm praying that there will be men who will rise up to take it off them. But as for them, I see them suppressing them the way they are going. And then when there is no more voices, they get back to what they were doing before. Tinubu have run away from this country. I came across a viral video that they were asking him consistently. They had to run away to France. He didn't deny it. They asked him about 3 times. He didn't deny it. All he said quietly was something like that, which shows have run away from the country. Some of them will go into their hideout, go into their bunkers, and then waiting for them to succeed in suppressing the agitations, and then they rise up from where they were hiding before, to continue the suppression, to continue the wickedness they are venting on this nation. So, but I'm wishing and appealing that people whose voices will be heard will all rise up and take it off the youths. And until we do that, the status quo may continue.
And also, before you leave, if you will still crave the indulgence.
Yes, I'm here.
I know you are privileged position, especially in the Christian community in Nigeria.
Yes.
Do you think the Christian community will eventually say, look, government, I think this thing is above you now. Can you allow us to step in to see what we can do? Do you see the Christian community doing that?
Well, the problem we'll have, which is also a major problem in this nation, is that we'll find that because it's a Muslim that is in government, you'll find that unfortunately, most of the religious bodies that are Muslims, with one way or the other, will begin to support the present wickedness that is going on. And then if the Christian community rises up, they will say, yes, you're rising up because it's a Muslim that's in government. And that is why things don't work in this nation. And people cannot divorce themselves from their affiliations, religious affiliations, tribal affiliations, and other affiliations, to come out and speak out for the truth. The truth is that the Christian community will be handicapped. If you check at the starting of this protest and agitation, you find that virtually every authority within the Christian denominations voiced out in support of the protest. My primate, not only that he voiced out, a video recording of him went out globally, calling all Anglicans to give support to the protest. He also wrote letters in his own handwriting, circulated to all the dioceses in Nigeria, about 286 dioceses in Nigeria, and got the bishops in Nigeria, pass it on to their dioceses. For us in the Diocese of Lagos, mainland, where we belong, it was placed on our platform. diocesan platform, on our clergy platform. So the position of the leadership of our church is known to be in support of this protest. Now, I also came across viral videos by other denominations, the headship of other denominations, the likes of Oyedepos and all that. So the Christian community is quite in support of the protest. But the truth is that if they go further than what they have done, it will be turned to a religious matter. So that is the problem we have. I know the Christian community are not happy. I am not happy. And I know also the mind. I spoke today with my bishop, and I know that we are not happy. Even in our cathedral now, a bullet made a hole in the wall of our cathedral. That was when I engaged the bishop. I saw it circulated. Even the bullet was hit the wall of our cathedral and made a hole in the wall of the cathedral. So where do we go from there? But I know the mind of the authorities of the church. But I know that if they go beyond what they have done, it becomes a religious war, which is very unfortunate.
Okay, suppose this thing continues now till the end of this week. And in fact, I'm speaking to you now. The breaking news we're having is that the Nigerian community in the United Kingdom is right now protesting in front of 10 Downing Street. Hundreds of Nigerians have gathered now in the UK Parliament. They marched to the Prime Minister's office right now. A demonstration is now ongoing. We also are aware that there are some signatures being collected, petitioning the UK Parliament to debate the matter. I think it will be up to 1,000 signatures now. And once it is more than 100, what am I saying? It's more than 100,000 signatures now, approaching, I said 200,000 now. And once 100,000 signatures are collected,
I think I have lost you. Are you still there? Are you still there? Are you back?
Hello, are you hearing me now?
I'm hearing you, yes.
Hello?
I'm here.
Hello, is anyone hearing me now?
I'm hearing you.
Hello? Okay, sorry, are you hearing me now?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, okay, so...
Can you hear me also?